There's no way that this just happened as the Lakers take care of business against the Mavericks in a crazy game that saw Nico Harrison in the building, Rob Pelinka, LeBron James step up down the stretch as well. But ultimately, it was the Luka show tonight, and they took care of business, although a little bit closer at times than we would have liked. But before we get into all that, folks, quick reminder, hit that subscribe button. If you're part of the 86% who are not subscribed to the channel, this is the place to be for daily Lakers content. We're on the road and the big goal of 20,000 subscribers, so make sure to hit that button. But guys, they won. It was a little bit scary for a brief period of time there, but they got the win. Luka Doncic, Rob Pelinka, Nico Harrison in the house at home. They took care of business in a game that unfortunately I think all basketball fans would have liked to see Anthony Davis be playing in this game, but they took care of business. Wild game by Kyrie, and guys, this was an absolutely crazy one. And Okechi, we'll start with you here. A big win, and Luka is back-to-back games now. Although he didn't shoot great from the field tonight, a little bit of struggles at times. He looked really good. A 15 rebound, almost a 20-point triple-double for him. And what were your thoughts on the game tonight?
I mean, that's some of the things that we kind of got to get used to with Luka Doncic now, because with Anthony Davis, we're always like used to like high efficiency, very high volume shots. But Luka Doncic is going to take those wild, crazy shots. I mean, he had that flurry in that first quarter, which really got the crowd going. Just him and Kyrie were going back and forth. It seemed like, so that was very exciting. But we're kind of have to gonna live with that. But Luka Doncic had a triple double, so I'm not really complaining about him. The starters were really great throughout. LeBron James just looked tremendous in that fourth to really take the Lakers over the top. Austin Reaves throughout the game. I mean, this guy just time and time again is showing himself as easily the third most important guy, and just every night that he's coming out and just bringing it just at a very high rate is Austin Reaves. He didn't shoot what he shoot the ball, what, 5 of 12, 3 of 8. He shot better before. But Reaves is great. Rory Hachimura continues to be great at adding on the defensive end as well. He had blocks, one on Max Christie. Max Christie really kept getting stuffed this game. I don't know what was in the air. Like they just wanted to just show up Max Christie. But yeah, very nice game from the starters. And then DFS off the bench, just tremendous defensive effort. Didn't really do much in the points to category, but like that doesn't really matter for a guy like Dorian Finney-Smith because he seems like to be, to me, the leader of the snake defensively for the Los Angeles Lakers there off the bench.
Yeah, that's a really good point you bring up with Catchy because especially toward the end of that game where, it was really close. The Mavericks, they erased that 16-point lead that the Lakers had midway through the second quarter. At that point, it doesn't matter. And then Dorian Finney-Smith, the 2 points he did have though were very important because it was 2 point game, and then he gets the putback dunk, which we very rarely see from DFS, but he does get that. And then the Lakers don't look back ever since. That's when Rui got the steal, led to a dunk. LeBron James gets the tip back. And then from there on out, it's the Lake show and they close out this game. And defensively, again, it is crazy when you trade a generational talent like Anthony Davis on the defensive end. You trade away one of your best perimeter defenders in Max Christie, and this team has gotten better defensively. And a lot of that is because of guys on the roster stepping up and really buying into what JJ Redick's preaching right now. He finally can play that switchable small defense with the long rangey defenders. Luka Doncic also phenomenal on the defensive end tonight. I thought he was great. He had multiple steals. I think he had multiple blocks as well and just was in very good position. I thought defensively was the best game Luka played. He was a beast on the glass as well with 15 boards. And Jason Kidd, the game plan for Dallas was simple: sell out for Luka Doncic, and he made them play. Also had what, 13 assists,
12.
12 assists in that
12
game
assists,
as
yeah.
well, getting guys open. And the two guys I really do want to highlight here too is Austin Reaves and Rui Hachimura, because everyone said these guys are not going to fit next to LeBron. They're not going to fit next to Luka. They both need the ball in their hands. They're both scorers. They're not only one basketball, and yet they still find ways to be productive. They still are playing their games. They have not altered their games at all. And as a result, it's led to a very high-powered Lakers offense. They've been one of the hottest teams in the NBA over the last 20-so games, and it doesn't seem like they're slowing down after they beat a really good Dallas Mavericks team that has been playing really good despite all the injuries that they've been having.
Yeah, coming off of a big win against the Nuggets as well. And Reaves is turning back the clock to literally just last year before he was the full-time kind of point guard. He is playing the spot-up role well. He's playing the point guard role well when Luka's out and when LeBron is out. Even when LeBron's there, he still tends to kind of lean on Austin Reaves a little bit. And they were playing a lot of small ball. You can see tonight, Jackson Hayes had a very good game and only 17 minutes. He's just always in the right spot. And they were talking about in the broadcast about how he gets wide open for dunks every single time. I think Jackson Hayes has kind of mastered where to stand in the key as it pertains to when LeBron has the
Oh, he
ball,
has
when
to do.
Luka has the ball. Every
Mhm.
single time. Yeah, it's a free lob every time. And I think Dorian Finney-Smith has had the most impactful 2 and 4 point games over the past week that we've seen in a while. Multiple closeouts down the stretch that would have made it a one possession game. They close out LeBron, great defense at the rim against, I believe it was Christie as well. Just fantastic defense all around. And that's exactly what you want to see. And I mean, LeBron himself, he was a bit quiet there in the first half. He ended up finishing with 27, 12, and 3. A lot of
Insane.
interesting, ref ball going on there. I think ultimately they were letting him play both ways, and I'm happy they fought through it and got it done. And yeah, Luka had a good defensive game. Still getting blown by a little bit at times. That's what's going to happen with Luka. Unfortunately, Dalton Knecht didn't have as much luck there on the defensive end, but yeah, I mean, the team looked really, really good. And this Mavericks team, I mean, Kyrie came out and he had something to, I guess, prove to a degree as well. He had 35 points, had 14 points or 16 points in the first quarter. And despite, again, they don't really have a big, solid big man, at least in their starting rotation. I think the Lakers small ball held up really well down the stretch, especially with DFS kind of running the 5. And you mentioned the putback dunk and their perimeter defense. It allows for a lot of things, especially coming off of a game against a huge center, Nikola Jokic. It shows the versatility that they have in the defensive end.
A thing that I want to point out though, what the Lakers are playing small, and what has improved for the Lakers is their speed. They're so much faster. Like we were talking about the closeouts on offline and the group that because it was just crazy seeing guys like DFS run out for these closeouts. LeBron James in these close. Jared Vanderbilt actually had a couple of threes, so he had a nice offensive game as well. But him and his closeouts, he's always a guy that's gonna go just balls to the wall, just insane effort, and he was just tremendous in that just energy that the Lakers have and the speed they have because him between DFS, Jared Vanderbilt, Gabe Vincent is another guy who's really good at closeout. So all of these different guys on the Laker rosters really are good to closing the space, using their speed to really wreak havoc, and they were creating some turnovers for a Dallas Maverick team that is really just going through a solo ball handler with Kyrie Irving and a little bit of Spencer Dinwiddie as well. But mostly those two guys were handling the offense there. So the Lakers were really able to speed them up at times and do some things with their speed because that's what the biggest thing that I've seen that's improved for the Lakers since trading Anthony Davis.
Yeah, and I want to bring up that point too when you talk about speed because I think defensively it's the switching, the closeouts. That's one thing, Okechi. But let's talk
Mhm.
about the fast break, the transition defense because this has been horrible for the Los Angeles Lakers for years now, and a lot of that is because guys just weren't getting back. A lot of it's hustle, but now that the Lakers are faster, more agile, the way they changed their defensive structure. I love Anthony Davis. He's a Laker legend in my eyes, but at the same time, though, the dude almost never got back on transition defense, and it clearly showed. And I think with LeBron now, all of a sudden you see him, he's re-energized. He's not doesn't have the ball as much in his hands as he used to. It lets him conserve his energy to play great defense in the fourth quarter, to get crucial rebounds in the fourth quarter. And he took over and did what LeBron James does in the fourth quarter. I remember the first 3 quarters. I'm like, LeBron's not really doing enough out here. He clearly knew what he was doing. He clearly knew he'd save his energy for moments like this. He always shines the brightest when you need him to. And as a result, the Lakers just keep finding ways to beat good teams, which is important because they have a very, very tough schedule coming up here. And this is a very emotional, but a very hard earned win for the Lakers against, of course, Luka's old team.
Yeah, and once the emotions settled down a bit, we got to see the pushback that the Mavericks were inevitably going to have at some point throughout this game. And it was very good. And the first half, one of the issues was the offensive rebounding for the Lakers. And that'll always be rebounding is going to be the big question mark, not only, this game, but going forward as well, especially when running the small ball lineups. I mean, having LeBron James and Luka Doncic combined for 27 rebounds, they have so many guys who aren't necessarily traditional big men who are able to get boards. Even Vando getting involved, Dorian Finney-Smith with 8, Luka Doncic with 15. They have a lot of big wings and guards in Luka's case, whatever you want to call them, who can get rebounds. And that's going to be something big down the stretch. But ultimately, it was a very big game and also a very nice win. Hopefully they can keep it going over the next couple of weeks here because guys, they're climbing up in the Western Conference, and if they can continue to do this, sky's the limit for this team. But that'll wrap it up. Let us know down below what your thoughts are, and another win for the Lakers. See you guys later.